Hello everybody! Infernape Shinjo here, and welcome to the final part of my top 10 series. In today's video, I'm going to be covering my top 10 Alola Pokemon. Now the Alola region is still fairly new. It's only been about a couple of years since the first games were released, so I feel like I've had enough time to get used to these Pokemon now. Now, like I said in the previous video, this Pokédex is somewhat smaller when you compare it to other Pokédexes, so it was a little bit hard for me to narrow this down. A few things to keep in mind before I get into this list. Our opinions are probably different on these Pokemon, and it's perfectly okay if you don't like a Pokemon that I put on this list. Second, I have no notes written out for this, so I just wanted to do it to make it a little more interesting. Not really, I just didn't want to write out notes. And finally, there might be times where I put a Pokemon on this list when it's not at its final evolutionary line. And that's mainly because I prefer the Pokemon that I put on this list rather than its final evolution. But let's get into this list with number 10 being Jangmo-o. Now, the reason that Jangmo-o is just starting the list here isn't because I don't like its design. Its design looks so cool. But it's mainly because I haven't had much time to use it. The only real way that you can capture a Jangmo-o is right at the end of the game, which by that point you already have your full team. But I was given the opportunity to use a Jangmo-o because I started over my Sun and Moon game, and I decided to just wonder trade until I got a team that I wanted or liked, and Jangmo-o is part of that team. And just using Jangmo-o is just so cool. Obviously, later on I might decide to put Kommo-o in this spot as well, but I haven't gotten him to a Kommo-o yet. It's been a while since I've played the game and I haven't been able to keep up with it. But one of the main reasons that Jangmo-o is here is so I can get the opportunity to talk about that. Number 9 is Rowlet. And just like last video did, I feel like I'm upsetting a lot of people by putting Rowlet at 9. Now, let me just clear the air before I go any further. The final evolutions of the starters are not on this list. And it's not even that I don't like the designs. The designs are cool, but I just like the base stages. Especially with that whole rumor speculation thing that was going around about what the final starters look like, as well as that leaked image that showed what the final starters look like. I'm all one for speculation, but just getting used to the designs by looking at them for that long, by the time the games came out, I wasn't really that impressed because I wasn't really surprised. It probably would have been different if those leaks wouldn't have come out at the time, and the first reveal of the final evolutions of the starters would have been in that trailer. But as far as Rowlet goes, Rowlet's a cool design. He's definitely funny in the anime. But I'm a little bit confused as to why people were going all crazy over Rowlet being an owl Pokemon when we already had an owl Pokemon 5 generations earlier. Granted, it's not a good owl Pokemon, but you take what you get. I don't know, just like last video, this pick being here might be sort of hipster of me, but I don't care. Number 8 is Buzzwole. And I know there's probably different sides of the argument, but I'm gonna count Ultra Beasts as legendary Pokemon. I'm not sure if people do, but regardless, if Buzzwole is counted as a legendary, he's the only legendary on this list. And honestly, Buzzwole is my favorite Ultra Beast out of all of them. Admittedly, Guzzlord looks a bit cool, but Buzzwole has that huge personality where he flexes his muscles even when he's fainted. I just love that. And I especially love the episode that accompanied that when Buzzwole was in the anime. Number 7 is Litten. And even from me, somebody that's not a big fan of cats, I still like Litten. And honestly, it's probably mainly because of how he's treated in the anime. He started out as a lone wolf sort of character, just hanging around with a Stoutland and that's it. And then when the Stoutland dies, in Pokemon no less, Ash decides to take it under his care. I just like the progression of Litten getting used to Ash and then everybody else and evolving into Torracat. but that's as far as we've gotten in the series so far. I don't know if he's going to evolve into Incineroar. I certainly hope he is, but only time will tell. Number 6 is Passimian. And of course, like I mentioned before, it's a fighting type. I like my fighting types. And Passimian was basically the push to why I decided to get Sun over Moon. Because up to that point, I was on the fence over which game I was going to pick. I was only given the option of one. And then when Passimian and Oranguru were revealed, I decided, nope, it's Passimian. I gotta pick Passimian. And I especially liked the episode of Pokemon where Passimian was at. Even though it was skipped over in the dub, I entirely get why they did that. That's not my discussion here. I really liked the episode, even though it was kind of a sensitive subject for America that they didn't dub it. But I just like the concept of Ash basically dressing up as a Passimian and playing soccer? Was it soccer? Whatever sport it was with them. And I know why they didn't dub the episode. I know exactly why they didn't. You don't have to write me a 10-page long essay in the comment section as to why they didn't. Number 5 is Rockruff. And I just like Rockruff's design. It is so cool. It's adorable. I love my dog Pokemon, even though Growlithe or Houndour or Poochyena or Snubbull weren't on my previous list. But who cares about that, right? Rockruff's design looks just so fierce and adorable at the same time. And that shiny, I just love how they made it all blue. And with those blue eyes, that's just awesome. I've just loved Rockruff's design since day one when I saw it. And I'm really glad Ash got one in the anime. Number 4 is Stuffle. And Stuffle is just adorable. There's no way you can look at that design and that face and tell me it isn't. I even bought myself a Stuffle plush just because it's so adorable. And the fact that in game it has a tag sticking out of its butt like it's actually a plush, that's just hilarious to me. And like before, it's a fighting type. Do I need to say anything else about that? And yeah, I could probably have put Beware on the list in this spot instead, just because of how ridiculous it saves Team Rocket sometimes. But I just like Stuffle a little bit more. Number 3 is Golisopod. And in a region like Alola, where we have cute Pokemon like Rockruff and Stuffle, Golisopod really stands out. It's basically the Magikarp to Gyarados story done in a different way, and I just love it. Wimpod, well, its name speaks for itself. It's a wimp. It even runs away when you're trying to capture it. But then when you evolve into a Golisopod, it's a fighting machine. And I am so happy it's Guzma's ace. Although admittedly, I really think they should have had Salandit get a male evolution for Guzma to use. But I'm fine with Golisopod either way. And I am so happy that Golisopod can just wreck house with a team. Especially that it has its, what I believe is his signature move in First Impression. There's just no way that I can't look at Golisopod and think of Guzma now. Number 2 is Popplio. And I know that I've made previous videos on Alola before, and I couldn't help but talk about how adorable Popplio is. And it still is my favorite starter out of the 3. When I look at Popplio, it just reminds me of Mudkip. Water type, both kind of derpy, but I knew even before the leaks were out that Popplio was going to evolve into something just awesome. And I don't think I was entirely wrong. I think the Popplio's final evolution worked out a lot better than some of the designs I see online, especially the one that looks like an evil clown holding balls. That's terrifying. And I just like Lana's Popplio's personality in the anime. And I honestly hope it doesn't evolve, because I feel like if it does, it would be kind of weird in a way, just because I'm so used to it being a Popplio. Number 1 is Ribombee. and I don't remember if I've ever made a video about this before, but I absolutely adore Ribombee. I like Cutiefly since I saw it. Then when it was revealed to evolve into Ribombee, I was so happy. A bug fairy, and it has a little scarf on it, and it just looks so adorable with those huge eyes. And it's funny looking back on this, but most of the picks that I've picked along my top 10 series have either been based off of nostalgia or how awesome and cool it looks. But Ribombee is just adorable. It's not even that tall. I would say out of all the parts of this series, there haven't been many that I picked just on the basis that they're cute or adorable. But Ribombee has to take the #1 spot for me, just because it's so adorable. It gets its signature move with Pollen Puff, and I'm still upset it doesn't have its own exclusive Z move based off of Pollen Puff. But that is going to do it for this video, and if you enjoyed, hit that like button down below and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. I hope that you enjoyed this series. I haven't seen any of the comments because I haven't even posted the first part yet, but it was a little bit of a trouble to make. I intended to record all the parts at one time, but I ended up recording them at 3 different times. But I hope you enjoyed regardless. And make sure to leave your list of Alola Pokemon down in the comment section. And I will see you in the next video. Momentai. 大体エスタで365日分の学びをカバンに詰め込んでいつもみたい